Chapter 30 is the turning point where justice and morality collide with societal expectations. After Bob Ewell's attack on Scout and Jim, the focus shifts to the aftermath. The confrontation on the Finch porch between Atticus, Sheriff Tate, and Boo Radley. As they grapple with the truth, questions of protection, innocence, and justice rise to the surface. How far will the law bend to preserve what is good? And what does it mean to protect a mockingbird? Join us at Guides English Language and Literature as we unravel this crucial chapter and its powerful themes of integrity and compassion. Chapter 30. The debate over Boo Radley's role. Key events. Atticus grapples with his sense of justice. Initially, he assumes that Jem is responsible for Bob Ewell's death, and he is ready to face the legal consequences. However, Sheriff Heck Tate insists that Ewell fell on his own knife, suggesting that bringing Boo Radley into the spotlight would be a grave injustice. Heck Tate's decision is a quiet yet powerful moment of moral reasoning. Instead of following the strict letter of the law, he chooses to protect Boo from public scrutiny. This reinforces the idea that sometimes the law and justice do not align perfectly. Ultimately, Atticus accepts Tate's version of events, realizing that exposing Boo Radley would be cruel and unnecessary. This sets up the novel's final lesson on moral integrity and protecting the innocent. Themes. This chapter presents a complex discussion of justice versus the law. Atticus, who has always championed fairness and legal integrity, initially insists on telling the truth about Bob Ewell's death. However, he soon realizes that justice in this case does not mean following legal procedures. It means protecting Boo. The theme of moral integrity is especially important. Heck Tate and Atticus both want to do what is right, but they approach justice differently. Heck believes that sometimes laws must be bent to serve a greater moral good, while Atticus wrestles with his deeply ingrained belief in absolute honesty. Finally, the theme of innocence and protection comes full circle. Boo Radley, like Tom Robinson, is an innocent man misunderstood by society. But unlike Tom, Boo is ultimately protected rather than condemned, suggesting that true justice can sometimes be found outside the courtroom. Symbols and motifs. The Mockingbird symbol is reinforced in this chapter when Heck Tate argues that exposing Boo would be like shooting a mockingbird. Just like Tom Robinson, Boo is an innocent who has done no harm, and bringing him into the public would be an act of cruelty. Ewell's own knife becomes a symbol of self-destruction. His hatred and violence ultimately lead to his own downfall, reinforcing the idea that evil often destroys itself. His death serves as a poetic form of justice, contrasting with Tom Robinson's unjust fate. Character and plot development. Atticus's moral dilemma is a significant moment in his character development. His initial reaction, to tell the truth no matter what, reflects his deep commitment to honesty and justice. However, by the end of the chapter, he accepts a different form of justice, realizing that sometimes protecting the innocent is more important than strict adherence to the law. Scout also experiences a major moment of growth. She agrees with Heck Tate's decision, showing that she fully understands the lesson of the Mockingbird. This marks her final step into maturity, as she moves beyond childish notions of fairness and embraces a more nuanced understanding of morality. Background and context. In To Kill a Mockingbird, the Southern legal system of the 1930s was deeply shaped by social hierarchies and racial prejudice. Formal justice often failed to protect the vulnerable, leading to instances of informal justice. Sheriff Heck Tate's decision to label Bob Ewell's death as self-inflicted reflects real-life situations where officials bent the law to serve what they perceived as moral justice. In many cases throughout history, particularly in small, tightly knit communities, law enforcement officers have made decisions that prioritized individual well-being over strict adherence to legal procedure. This chapter also highlights the rigid societal norms of the time. Boo Radley, having lived in isolation for years, mirrors real-life individuals who struggled with public attention and societal expectations. Much like people who are neurodivergent or have faced mental health challenges today, Boo is misunderstood by society. Heck Tate's choice to protect him from public exposure reflects an act of empathy, recognizing that justice isn't just about the letter of the law, it's about doing right by individuals. By connecting this fictional moment to real historical and social issues, Harper Lee challenges us to consider how justice, empathy, and morality can intersect in a world shaped by rigid societal roles. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.